Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to What the Fuck News. My name is Destry, and I think I might have an unhealthy addiction to raging 90s techno music. This is What the Fuck News, where we talk about the news that you may have missed in the last week. And honestly, there really wasn't that much amazing news lately. Like, literally what made headlines on news sites this week was frog sits on top of a sprinkler. What is that? Why is that news? But despite the fact that I usually never talk about sad type news, this story had just so much what the fuck that I felt like I had to mention it. And that is the story of the two 12-year-old girls who stabbed their friend 19 times in order to gain favor from the fictional character Slenderman. For those of you who have not seen PewDiePie yell for several minutes at the fictional character Slenderman in the game Slender, Slenderman is a fictional character depicted as a tall man in a suit with long tentacles and no face. Luckily, the girl they stabbed is still alive, but was a millimeter away from hitting a major artery in the heart. For those of you who are not in medical school, if you puncture your heart, you actually die really fast. So, you know, I know that, thank you, I'm just really smart. So, since the incident, it has gotten the whole internet in an uproar on both sides, with parents saying, "We should never let our kids see images like this. Fucking Slenderman!" Ah! The two have been tried as adults for first-degree murder, which is also causing a large uproar on the internet. People debating whether the two 12-year-olds really knew what they were doing or if they were just going along with this thinking it was a fictional story. In more what the fuckery, a bride and groom from Tennessee was in the news for walking down the aisle of their wedding dragging a baby behind them by placing it on the dress of the bride. Shauna Brooks from Jackson, Tennessee decided to do this after wanting to include her brand new 1-month-old baby in her wedding, but apparently thought flowers were more important to hold than a 1-month-old baby. Apparently no harm came to the baby as they wrapped it in, quote, an enormous amount of material. Probably poison, cause they're terrible parents. But like, what in her mind was like, I wanna hold my baby during my wedding, but I ain't Goro from Mortal Kombat. I need more arms for that shit. I guess I'll just drag my baby behind me like an old man's nutsack in a yoga class. Oh god. Since the photo, Shauna has received a gargantuan titload of hate comments, to which Shauna replied with simply, "The answer is we do what we want, when we want, as long as Jesus is on our side, everything worked out fine and it's gonna continue to be fine." Oh my god, I totally forgot Jesus. Instead of maybe admitting that maybe this wasn't a good idea, she just dropped a bombshell on us. She wins, guys. I totally forgot Jesus. In more what the fuck news, Justin Bieber was in the news recently for being racist? What? Two clips of him were just recently released of him at age 14 and 15, of him joking around with some friends saying the N-word, and then later in another video singing the N-word where he's saying, "I'm going to join the KKK.
There's gonna be one less nigga. If I kill you, I'll be part of the KKK. There'll be one less lonely nigga."
Since the video, Justin has made a public apology where he said, "I'm very sorry. I take all my friendships with people of different cultures very seriously, and I apologize for offending or hurting anyone with my childish and inexcusable mistake." Personally, I think, obviously it's pretty inexcusable to say something like that hurtful in a video or any facet of life. That being said though, a lot of words we're around every single day we just assume are okay to say because everyone else is saying them, like gay, retarded, I said those all the time in high school, and it took me like a long time to realize that those words can actually be hurtful. I was gonna make some jokes about Justin Bieber, but I think actually just saying his name is a funny enough joke at this point, so yeah. Enough talking about serious shit though. In some hilarious what the fuck news, a man wearing only underwear crashed a stolen RV into a house after an hour-long police chase in Washington. When I read this story, I had to make sure it was actually a real story and not just the first episode of Breaking Bad. The 33-year-old James Johns from Granite Falls, Washington, ended his glorious police chase in his extremely fast RV that he just had to steal for some reason by slamming it into the side of a house that he then ran into and then tried to formulate an escape plan that included putting on women's clothing. Apparently, the man's plan was to change his appearance to look like a woman so that when the cops came looking for him later, they wouldn't recognize him. Which I assume he probably thought was gonna go something like this. "Excuse me, ma'am, have you seen a madman run by here?" "Why, yes, officer. I saw this chiseled, really attractive man run by, and he ran at me like the blazes of hell, and he tried to kiss me because I'm so attractive, but I said no. And he ran past me, and he's like over there somewhere." "Thank you, miss. Here's $50. We're gonna go catch him." Unfortunately for him, it did not work out this way, and the police just arrested him immediately, probably laughing while they did it and saying, Really? Really? And finally, in some movie news, some photos were just recently leaked showing off some of the sets from the upcoming Star Wars movie, Star Wars Episode 7. So far, the most exciting news is the spoiled photo of the creation of the Millennium Falcon, which of course is Han Solo's ship from the original movies. The leaked photos were apparently not supposed to be leaked, as director J.J. Abrams tweeted a picture saying, "I wish people would stop leaking photos from Episode 7 and making ridiculous claims that the Millennium Falcon is in the movie." Ironic part about this tweet though is that the picture itself was on a prop in the Millennium Falcon, so he's pretty much just hinting to the fact that the Millennium Falcon definitely is going to be in the movie. Other set photos released kind of just show off some of the creatures in the movie, like this fucking thing. I don't know what its deal is, but it's going to be in the movie somehow. And maybe the building of an X-Wing from the original movies as well, but I guess time will tell with that shit. I'm just really excited to see what they do with this movie, which is set to come out in 2015. Anyways, that was this episode of What the Fuck News. The question of the day I have for you guys today is, what is the dumbest thing you did when you were 14 or 15? And if you're not 14 or 15 yet, what is the dumbest thing you've done in your whole life? For me, when I was 14 and 15, I had like the worst addiction to stealing of all time. Like, I'd just walk into a store and be like, yeah, this is mine, time to go. But yeah, obviously I grew out of that, but I just wonder, like, what is the dumbest thing you've ever done? Because obviously we cannot amount to the glorious rap sheet that Justin Bieber has, so leave that in the comments below. All of today's stories can be found in the description below, so make sure to check those out, as well as all of my links. If you like being touched inappropriately, make sure to check out my channel at youtube.com/CaptainDestes. There's a lot of inappropriate touching there, so make sure to check it out. That was probably the weirdest way I could have promoted my channel. Anyways, I will see you next week for another What the Fuck News, and fair winds.